Bingo Blitz rules.
If your bingo has ads in it,
That's not a bingo.
if it doesn't have the coolest tournaments, mini games, and the most breathtaking design,
Nope, not a bingo.
if your bingo moment makes you feel so excited that you just want to burst in joy and scream out loud, bingo! Sorry, so you're playing...
Bingo Blitz? Now that's a bingo. Discover a world of excitement with Bingo Blitz, the #1 free bingo game. Download Bingo Blitz and play for free.
Now that's a bingo.
This episode is brought to you by Opel, the first over-the-counter daily birth control pill available in the U.S. Opel is FDA approved, full prescription strength and estrogen-free. Plus, there's no prescription needed. Finally, the days of needing a prescription for birth control are over. Opel is available online and at most major retailers. Take control of your health and reproductive journey with Opel. Birth control in your control. Use code BIRTHCONTROL for 25% off your first month of Opel at opel.com.
The #1 selling product of its kind with over 20 years of research and innovation. Botox Cosmetic, out of botulinum toxin A, is a prescription medicine used to temporarily make moderate to severe frown lines, crow's feet, and forehead lines look better in adults.
Effects of Botox Cosmetic may spread hours to weeks after injection, causing serious symptoms. Alert your doctor right away as difficulty swallowing, speaking, breathing, eye problems, or muscle weakness may be a sign of a life-threatening condition. Patients with these conditions before injection are at highest risk. Don't receive Botox Cosmetic if you have a skin infection. Side effects may include allergic reactions, injection site pain, headache, eyebrow and eyelid drooping, and eyelid swelling. Allergic reactions can include rash, welts, asthma symptoms, and dizziness. Tell your doctor about medical history, muscle or nerve conditions including ALS or Lou Gehrig's disease, myasthenia gravis, or Lambert-Eaton syndrome, and medications, including botulinum toxins, as these may increase the risk of serious side effects. For full safety information, visit BotoxCosmetic.com or call 877-351-0300.
See for yourself at BotoxCosmetic.com.
Hi, welcome to a brand new episode of But Am I Wrong? Starring two people who have not once ever in the history. Let me check. Nope, we've never been wrong. That was me checking my watch if you are not on Patreon.
Your history watch?
Yeah, Melissa, it's a sundial. It is, okay? And it's not, the sun is not out right now because apparently it's about to start fucking raining, which is insane.
Yeah, but it's supposed to just pass through.
Is it?
It's not going to be, when I say pass through, I was just making sure it wouldn't be here on Saturday.
Yeah. Also, now Wang says it's not going to rain at all anymore. I have questions because it is so cloudy and literally like we are towards the end of our recording day and like probably an hour or so ago, I went from being like so hot and sweaty and I took a beta blocker and like they work, but they usually don't work to the point where I was shivering. I was like, shiver me timbers, I'm freezing. And that's because it dropped like 10 degrees and all the sun went away.
Meanwhile, it shows that it's raining by me, but I can't see outside.
Melissa, now mine says it's also raining. And it's not.
It said it'll stop in 18 minutes.
Mine is going to stop in 8. So who knows? We'll see. But yeah, it's passing through. So my sundial doesn't work, but just join the Patreon. You can see all of the little nicks and gadgets and gizmos.
Aplenty.
I've got so many. I dropped something.
I found this little that I have for my iPhone.
I was going to say, that's an Apple pen. That's not just any little pen.
But it's not an Apple pen. It's like...
It's a knockoff?
A pen for an iPad.
Oh, a stylus.
But it's not an app. But it still does the thing.
Yeah, stylus. That's what I had one for my phone when I used to try and do like the tiny little writings on my story.
Yeah.
I love that.
It's a knockoff.
A stylus, okay?
Yeah. I started playing Sims again. But like the mobile version.
Which one? There's 2.
The first Sims free play.
Oh, see, that's not the one I played.
This is the one that I played when it very first came out and I got addicted to it.
That game is Sims circa 2002, essentially. Like, all of that. It is like the fundamental old school Sims. So for me, I would think elder millennials like that version where I play, haven't recently as much.
I didn't know there was another
It's just The Sims. But if you liked that version of Sims that you're playing right now, is that similar to what you played on your computer?
No. The one that I played on my computer was, it feels like what I see people playing.
Okay, yeah, then that's The Sims on app.
Okay.
And for me, that's what I like played. I was not the other version of it that was a little more, I guess say Microsofty, like just in the vibe. This one's much more Apple-y, like in the terms of,
Gotcha.
if you get it, you get it. Sims girls will know.
Yeah.
So I've always played the Apple-y version of Sims, so I like that one better.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's a good gateway into yours and your, when we eventually have it on our computers. And might I also suggest, there is nothing like building your Sims, a gorgeous house on an iPad.
Okay. I need a newer iPad because the iPad that I have is like
you've had that
10 years
I was going to say,
old.
you've had that iPad longer than I've known you. You've had that iPad since I've known you.
I had that iPad longer than I've lived in Los Angeles. So it is older than 10 years old.
You used to bring your iPad to things and then you stopped because I don't think it was working as well. And then that's still the iPad you have.
Yep. And then I deleted everything off of it. So now it works fine.
Yeah. Funny how that happens sometimes. Funny how that happens. I'm convinced when I delete Monopoly off of my iPad is going to be like holding juice so well. It's going to be just crushing it. But until I get out of the thick of the Monopoly addiction, I do need to have 2 accounts.
I understand.
We're gamer girls. We're gamer girls.
My break lasted, 3 months? But I feel because Sims free play is new and I don't have to depend on other people. So that it makes things different.
I don't think you're breaking it at all. I think you're taking a step in a different direction, which is a mature, grown-up adult things to do. Yeah, it's just self-pleasure. Oh, self-service. One of the most iconic music videos of all time, one of the greatest songs of all time is Most Girls. I think that's what it's called. And it's like, I don't want to be like, the whole thing is like, most girls are like this, most girls are like this. And it's like this guy being like, yeah, most girls.
Not Pink songs.
No, because here's the thing. Pink is like, I'm not like other girls.
Yeah.
And then Haley Steinfeld song is this guy saying most girls are like this, most girls like that. And she goes, yeah, I want to be like most girls. And it's like, it's great. But I think it's that music video. She has a shirt on it that she's at a gas station and it just says self-service. And everyone's like, Haley. And I was like, kind of love it. I will say, I know she's an actress. I need her to get back in this. I need to get back in the booth. That is a pop girl.
Mm-hmm.
And we are at we need more pop girls. We're getting wonderful pop girls right now, but it's an era of pop girls. So throw your hat back in the ring, produce some music, give me a little dancey dance.
I like that.
I'll send you those. I think you'd enjoy that song. It's very like 2016 pop, which to me, throw that on. My hand goes up. Suddenly it's Jersey Shore. I love it. We actually never talked about this. And we're going to do this really quick and then we're getting to the rest of the podcast. Jordan Childs staring straight down the barrel of the lens before she does her floor routine, fist up and gives a wink. Did you see it?
Mm-hmm.
Melissa, I actually need a professional photographer to release the images in black and white. And the way I need that in my home, that photo.
I also love how hype she gets for herself after she nails something.
Yes.
And then how she gets hype for everybody else.
She is like, I saw an interview where everyone's like, she's everyone's favorite person on the team. Like, she's close to everyone. Everyone would say, like, Jordan's who I would call. Jordan's like, she is that, like, will bail you out of jail, who you want to call when you get, like, after a breakup or whatever. Like, she's, like, the best hype person ever. And, like, someone was saying, like, I hope that, like, the trend of her celebrating after she nails a routine becomes the norm because the women are not encouraged to do that. The men are encouraged to do that. The women are not. They have to be, like, very serious and prim and proper. And that's supposed to be like correlated to great gymnastics. Like, but when you have the best gymnast in the game, like knowing that they're the best and like being like, yeah, look what I just did. This is amazing. Then it like opens that up for everybody to be able to do that. Not just like, oh, this is cocky. Cause again, Michaela Skinner was the only one who used to do she was like, oh my God, I crushed that. And everyone's like, you actually were so bad. Like that was actually really bad. I love Jordan and I love her makeup. She did a Vogue makeup routine.
I love the whole team. I love them all for different reasons. They all, it just feels like you get a little bit of everything.
Yeah. I love them. Speaking of love, you're going to love our podcast. This is where we two people who have not once ever been wrong. And you know how you can know this for sure? Both of us predicted Joe Biden was stepping down and our girl, Kamala Harris, was going to be, we're going to need a new person. I think they're setting her up. And guess what? We were right.
Correct.
Everyone doubted us. Even the man that I'm betrothed to doubted me.
Even professionals in the field. I actually first said it 4 years ago.
Well, Melissa, let's be real. When you and I both were voting for Joe Biden, we said, Well, he's old. And thank God, as soon as he confirmed her as the VP, both of us went, yeah, no, I'm excited to vote for him. I'm excited to vote for him. Right. Could I say that it was because I assumed he was going to die in office in his first term and she was going to take over? No, of course I wouldn't say that.
I said second term.
Yeah. Well, I said first term. I said he looked like he wanted to dip out.
Yeah.
And now finally he is. So just know that like you're interesting. We've never been wrong. We've got that good gut feeling. So we have 3 different segments. We'll explain each of them before we get into them. But what you need to know is that we ask you to vote along with who you think was wrong in each circumstance. So we post the votes as slides over on our Instagram story and you vote. And then you can also write in, respond to those stories on why you voted the way you did, your thoughts and your feelings. And if you'd like to hear how other people do it, that's because you can hear it in our podcast called See You Next Tuesday, where we read the results from the prior week's episode of But Am I Wrong? So you can hear that if you are curious about how you should respond in. You can listen to that. It's honestly so self-explanatory. Just be like, yeah, I voted this way or, whatever. And we also are very okay if you vote wrong and you want to be like, hey, I voted wrong. And we do notice that when you voted wrong, when it really counts, that most of you do respond and go, I'm so sorry I voted wrong. And then there are some people, I think one of the people was in our Patreon. I can't remember who it was in that moment though, where they voted wrong and they were like, we were read it on this. And I was like, girl, babe, you don't have to say you voted wrong. Like, we know you, like septum piercing blue hair. Like I know you actually didn't mean to say that you thought Ron DeSantis was great or like whatever it was. So we love to hear from you all. So our first segmente, which is not segment in any language, but I've been listening to and watching the Olympics. So I'm feeling worldly.
So the first segment is, but am I wrong? That's when we pick something from our personal lives that we might be wrong about. Also could just simply be a rant or just thoughts and feelings that we need a stage, a podium, a microphone to get up on and share every little minutia belief that we have about that thing. So take it away, Megan.
So my hot take, which we're unsure if we have the same one, so we'll see. Mm-hmm. But mine is get rid of non-Olympic sports in the Olympics.
Okay, that's all.
Do you know what? I don't actually need to see basketball in the Olympics. I don't need to see basketball in the Olympics, mostly also because NBA players will also play internationally and they'll go and do different things like that. So we see everyone. It happens from all over the world. This is not like a super American-centric sport in itself. But what do you mean you're telling me that LeBron James has to fly to Paris, sleep on a cardboard bed he's not, and play basketball? What? What? If you want to bring basketball players, might I suggest the Harlem Globetrotters? I would love to see what they could do in Paris. Maybe you should have put them in the opening ceremony. Great idea.
Save it for LA.
Golf? No. What are you doing here? What are you doing here? Now here's the other part. Am I torn when it comes to tennis? Yes, because ultimately winning the U.S. Open, winning Wimbledon is a much bigger accolade than winning the Olympics. So my criteria is if you have a sport-specific accolade or award that means more than Olympic medal, you shouldn't be in the Olympics. It's as if at this point, if you tell me that football is going there, no. And I don't mean football. I mean FOOT ball.
It is.
That's the part that I'm like, no, they have the Super Bowl. They don't need, no. This is a time for canoe, slalom to shine. This is a time for fencing to shine. This is a time for, I don't love guns, but if you're going to shoot guns, shoot them in the Olympics. They can shine there. Take the guns out of the classrooms, put them back in the shooting ranges there. Did you see the man from Turkey who just decided to start doing it? Everyone's like, is this a hitman?
Right. I would not be surprised if he is a hitman.
He's so wildly calm. The fact that they have their heart rates. Okay, archery. Because here, I don't want us to bring the Hunger Games in. I don't need us to Katniss Everdeen it. But we have all of these other sports that don't get as much to be seen. And we already have things that are very, very, very well-known sports. Gymnastics, swimming, all of those things. Track and field. We have so many. Skateboarding, breakdancing. And I'm okay with those. I'm okay with those things because you know what? You don't have a Super Bowl for those things. Maybe winning the X Games is kind of better, whatever. But truly at the end of the day, I don't need to see baseball. I don't need to see football. I don't need to see golf. I don't need to see basketball. And I don't need to see men's soccer. I do need to see women's soccer. And I do need to see women play tennis. So there are some sports where I would like Coco Gauff to be there. And I would like them to be nice to her. But they're not even being fucking nice to her. So I just think at a certain point, you are making your athletes work way too fucking hard for an Olympic medal that doesn't really even mean shit for their careers.
I disagree.
It's okay. We had this argument as a family, and Mats and I were, I think, the only ones on this side.
And here's my reason why. Is because I know that this happened the year before you were born, so you don't remember this.
I wasn't there.
You weren't there. But me, being a wee tot, was very excited about it. So it used to be before 1992, people that played basketball in the Olympics could not be professional basketball players.
Oh, that's more fun.
It was more fun, but we were losing all the time.
Well, how much is it even a competition really at a certain point?
So then they created this team when they started to allow the NBA players in 1992. It was all the rage. It was called the Dream Team.
Oh, yeah.
It was,
Let's talk about that.
Yes. So it was Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, John Stockton, Karl Malone, which fuck him, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Patrick, like all the hits. And so this was so spectacular that it got people excited about basketball being in the Olympics, which they weren't before.
Yeah.
And like even fuck McDonald's, but they had like a dream team spread. And I believe it was tied in with the Monopoly game too.
Oh,
they used to do.
I love that.
I know. And so like it was a huge deal. And I remember it. I had the shirt that I recently saw somebody wearing the shirt. And I was like, I had that shirt when I was a kid. And I need to find like a replica because it was so cool. It just had everybody's big heads blown up on the shirt. It was a movement.
Yeah.
And so now it's people that wouldn't normally get to play with each other on a team. They get to go out and have fun and dominate another sport and bring home another gold medal for the U.S. And that's why I don't have a problem with it.
I think if they mixed it up, like throw something else in there. And that's why I said, like maybe have them do something, make it like one of those celebrity sports games or whatever. But like, it's just, I do understand because I did watch a guy who him and his wife are British. And she, as a surprise, brought him to the U.S. and Senegal.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, right? That was the one that was a couple ago. Yeah, that was one of the early ones. She brought him to that and he was like, LeBron is his hero. And so he was like crying and he was like so happy. So like bringing them there, I totally get it. I just think that like, how can we have them have a little more fun? And it reminded me
they are having fun. But
as a viewer, I want to see something a little different than we see on TV, like that we see just like a standard basketball game.
I think for basketball, you got to think of it as this isn't for
it's on a real team too.
It's not us like US. It is us against the world.
And so it's not just it's not like the Warriors are playing. It's like a team of all of the different US players.
Yes. And then also there's players like that play in the NBA that never actually get to play in their home country, but they do during
So that Olympics. I enjoy. But there was one that I think it was for men's, it might have been for men's volleyball. It was something, but they just did an entrance where they started breakdancing before they got into formation. So everyone's like, did we get to the wrong thing? Or we at breakdancing? And I just think, I'm like, throw something a little fun and different in there. But at the same time, I'm also not fucking watching it. Because
so like, if you don't want to watch it, don't watch it.
But basketball is by far the one I have the least issue with because, first of all, basketball players objectively tend to be pretty attractive. Secondly, they're very tall and a lot of them are friends with each other. The golf one and the baseball one.
Baseball isn't currently in, but it's coming back.
Yeah. Why?
Yeah.
Who asked?
That I don't understand because their seasons overlap. I'm like, we don't need to do that. Baseball, don't need it. But again, baseball is an international sport that a lot of people get into.
Without a doubt. It's just...
they're also bringing cricket back. And I'm like, it's the same sport.
Yeah.
Maybe have the baseball players go play cricket. I don't know.
See, I'd watch that. I would watch that and have the basketball players play volleyball. Like, I just think that, like, specifically for the ones who are like so famous. But I do like seeing, and I haven't seen a single moment of basketball, but I have seen basketball players interacting. And so one of them is now plays for, I don't know what team, but he plays volleyball. And LeBron and he was like, oh my God, he's like, I've been keeping up. I've been watching. Yes. And I just saw all these clips, and Mott's like, that man was like the most beloved man in the NBA. Like everyone loves him. Like he is just like, no one has anything but like great things to say about him. And you look in the stands during his, I forget what's the country he's playing for, his volleyball. It's like all these fucking NBA players on their off day being like, woo. And to me, I enjoy seeing that a lot more than the basketball. But the golf, they win millions of dollars playing all of these other fucking tournaments. They don't need this.
Golf, I'm like, whatever, because it's not even really a team sport anyway. Tennis, for me, I love tennis. I love seeing everybody play. But like you said, like Wimbledon already exists. They are tennis is an international sport as it is.
Yep.
And when I had to turn off one of Coco's games because I was like, I do not want you to get hurt, and I don't want to see it for the Olympics.
Exactly. And it's just like,
we've got bigger things, but everything else, I'm just like, whatever. But the tennis is the one, and it's more so me being concerned for the players.
Yeah. I also don't need men's soccer, but again, I do need women's soccer.
Yeah. Soccer is already an international sport.
And I don't usually watch women play soccer in the Olympics, but I'll watch them play at anything else. So, and I will say that I think if we get rid of some of these sports that we don't need it, and Mott's criteria is like yours. He says if you already regularly compete internationally, if that is a part of like the biggest award or the biggest accolade is an international one, or you are a sport that is only played domestically, you should not be in the Olympics. Like that doesn't make any sense. So that's like his criteria, which I agree with. But I think it needs to put ways for, I am a huge fan of introducing surfing, introducing breakdancing, introducing skateboarding, and it's time for cheerleading.
Yes.
It's fucking time, and I need us to get rid of baseball and put cheerleading in.
Cheerleading is overdue. Competitive cheer is way overdue. Way overdue.
And like, I think people think of it as just a US thing, and it's not. Like it's not, and it takes so much talent and skill. And the issue is like there's no professional quote unquote cheerleading past. There's no professional like competitive cheerleading like at all. So I think if you're able to do that, I think even sports cheerleaders will make more money. But I think beyond that, like you could then have people who have brand deals and all of this stuff where it used to be like before college athletes could do the Olympics or both. Like we could make a sport something that's like so huge and like such a iconic, inspirational kind of thing, and we could make the lives and careers. So let's do that.
Yeah, I do agree with that.
That's my hot take.
Mine is also Olympic related, but not that take. But mine is, okay, so I'm excited that the men's gymnastics team got a medal. First time in, I think they said 15 years or ever. I don't know. Men's gymnastics doesn't really make me excited because I feel like it's boring.
Mm-hmm.
And the main reason it's boring is because they do not have music on the floor routine. They also cannot walk as like with the women's gymnastics, you know, they're like prancing around and stuff. And men's gymnastics, they can't walk during their routine. So they do these weird little side step thingies.
Don't talk bad on my little fairy twirls.
They're not even like not the twirls. I'm talking about when they kind of limp to the side
with both their arms out and they're sitting on one foot. No, I have to say I personally love it because it's the only moment of like a little bit of sparkle we get, and I want more.
I know, but I want more sparkle. Yeah. I want more sparkle. So, according to this article with CNN, when the sport was developed for women, they adapted the men's sport to make it quote unquote appropriate for women. Women were expected to do soft, rhythmic, flowing, graceful movements that emphasize beauty and flexibility. This is why there isn't music in the men's part. But I will say, as gymnastics has evolved, that's not all that the women's is anymore. Like they're showing, before it was like the men is just showing like power and stuff. But like in women's gymnastics, we are also getting that. So the men's gymnastic needs to evolve as well. Give them some fucking music. Let them prance around. Like, I know that like, artistic isn't part of the men's event. Make it part of the men's event. Let's put some razzle dazzle on that fucking floor so I can see somebody pop, lock, and drop it into a round off front handspring, do their little twirly thing they do on the ground, their breakdancing routines, essentially. Put some music to it.
Yep.
Put some fucking music to it.
Yep.
Because they're already girly pop as it is.
I know. First of all, we need to make the Olympics gayer as a whole. But gymnastics, Brat Summer, throw it in there.
Yes. Everybody got excited by Steven, the gymnast that took off his little glasses and then couldn't see while he was doing the horse. Imagine all the excitement of Steve dancing around on the floor too. And
imagine like pick a song that you want Steve to be riding on that horse for. Mm-hmm. I would say surfboard. Yeah. Riding on that. That would have been great. Like think of all of the music to it. I agree with you wholeheartedly. I think I literally was explaining to Mott's the evolution of gymnastics about how like the perfect way to see the difference and like kind of when the switch started from the artistry and quote unquote gracefulness and long lines of gymnastics is 2008. Yeah, 2008, Shawn Johnson and Nastia Liukin. Watching the difference between both of them. Nastia, who looks so much taller than Shawn, she's like 4 inches tall. Like she's not that much taller, but she's very different lines. And you see that like they are doing even similar moves look so different. And it was like the first time like a quote unquote power. And I don't even think Shawn Johnson would consider herself a power gymnast at this point. But like that was a kind of the beginning of that. And as that has happened, then you had Gabby Douglas, who was combined, again, similar to Shawn, combining both of those elements. To then we get to the point of Simone where it's like, she's so much fucking power that now we see Russia and some other Eastern European countries don't do as well because that is the training of like the very thin, wafy, like really long line kind of thing. And then we see countries like, we see Brazil and Italy and the girl from Algeria who was French and then said, fuck y'all. And now is completely crushing them all. That's where you see that they like start to soar and like where Russia and China don't do as well because that is not what has been the build, quote unquote, for what they wanted gymnasts to be. And I was saying to Mons, I was like, yeah. And the issue is they don't let them they don't let them land legs closed and they don't let them slow down by opening their legs mid-air while they're landing like the boys do. So if the girls got power down, I need the boys to bring back, hike up those shorts, give me some long lines, throw on a song and dance around and shake it and stop making me feel like you're about to like absolutely tear your ACL. And the way they throw themselves through the air and hardly ever land. And this is not a knock at them at all, but it's like a level of power that women have over them at this point. So they keep trying to like, it keeps going like more and more power or whatever. And it just becomes terrifyingly reckless to watch. I was watching the men's yesterday, their overall, everyone was falling. And I was just like, get up. Get up and dance. Get up and shake your ass. They were falling off the horse. They were falling on the bar. They were falling off the vault. They were falling on the floor. Everyone was falling. So if we added some grace to this, because they got the power down, but if you add the grace, then they wouldn't be falling as much. And do you know how we know that gracefulness aids in winning? Because the only man there who I can tell you with confidence has a perm was on the podium. And I said, there we go. That is a girly pop who was like... Was that the guy from China? Yep. With his little wave? Yeah, I go, he was stunning. I said, now that is a perm. His hairstylist better be reposting every goddamn fucking picture saying, you want this? Because I did this. Stunning, gorgeous. And I was like, thank you. Finally. And also, we cheered for Steven. And you know who's the most girly pop on that team? Steven. But Frederick, I have high fucking hopes for you. Yeah. Frederick, you have all the personality in the world. All over the place. But Frederick has all the personality in the world. He's like, I need people to start watching gymnastics. And this is our advice to you. Sass it up. Music. Bring some cunt. I need you. I need some of it. Yes. And I think the women should have to do less of it. You know what I didn't realize was so cunty before they even stepped out onto the actual place where they perform? The fucking synchronized swimmers. Melisa? I don't know if you saw their intro.
before they even got in the water.
Melissa,
I said, Team USA, what the fuck are we doing?
Mons and I have saved that
so
to watch
comfy.
tonight because the way every night I go, can we watch it? And he goes, let's wait for, and I go, I have been chomping at the bit.
Mm-hmm.
I am a synchronized swimming girl till I fucking die. Like, I need my sports to involve so much glitter, so much Swarovski crystals, or I need it to involve something that goes, who said this was allowed to be a sport? AKA canoe slalom. So like that to me, synchronized swimming is, Katie Ledecky, you're amazing. But I gotta say, I love a little leg in the air. I love the drama. Like, it's so over the top. It's a performance.
Yes.
Oh,
Before they even got in the water,
Yeah,
I was
they
like,
do their
what the
walks.
fuck even is this?
Yes.
What is this?
It looks sometimes, depending on
And
the
then they
team, they
got
can
in
look
the
kind of
water.
ballroomy.
Because nobody else was doing it, though. It was just Team USA that was bringing the cunt.
Hell yeah. There's a couple countries a couple years ago who it literally looked like New York ballroom scene entrances. And I was waiting for someone to like literally do a death drop. And I was like, am I about to be like, you're about to break your leg? Like, it.
Right.
I love that shit. So now I'm even more excited to watch. I've been saving it for tonight.
All right. Well, when we take our break, we're going to get into But Are You Wrong?
And God bless America.
As a podcast network, our first priority has always been audio and the stories we're able to share with you. But at Realm, we also sell some pretty cool merch, and organizing that was made both possible and easy with Shopify. When you think about successful businesses like Aloe or Allbirds or Skims, an often overlooked secret is the business behind the business that makes selling and, for shoppers, buying simple. For millions of businesses, that business is Shopify. That's because nobody does selling better than Shopify. It's the home of the #1 checkout on the planet. And the not-so-secret secret that's definitely worth talking about is that Shop Pay boosts conversions up to 50%. That's more happy customers and way more sales going. If you're hoping to grow your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling, on the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more, sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout we use with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/realm, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/realm to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/realm.
Get softer, smoother, and more even-toned skin after just one use with the new Gentle Exfoliating line from Cetaphil. Formulated with a unique triple acid blend that promotes surface skin cell renewal, these gentle chemical exfoliators remove dead skin cells and refine skin's texture while hydrating, resulting in softer, smoother, more even-looking skin. Shop the new Cetaphil Gentle Exfoliating line in the face and body aisles at your local Target store or online at Cetaphil.com.
With something like 5 million podcasts, finding a really good one can take a ton of time. So let me recommend one. It's called Something You Should Know. I'm the host, Mike Carruthers, and in each episode, we discuss topics that can be really helpful, like how to read people better, the psychology of crowds, or fun things like the story of Legos, or why you probably wouldn't be here if it weren't for horses. Something You Should Know is the name of it, wherever you get your podcasts.
We are back, and it is time for But Are You Wrong?, where we read your submissions that you send to butamiwrongpod@gmail.com. You tell us about the circumstance or situation you found yourself in that you would like to know if you are in the wrong. So we ask that you keep it under 300 words. It is all anonymous, so you use pseudonyms for people, and you give us all of the relevant details, and then round it off by asking, would you be wrong if you, or were you wrong? You know, insert here blank. We just don't want to do, if you're wrong about feeling things, because we might be bitches, we might be cunts, but very rarely are we ever going to tell you that you're wrong for feeling a certain type of way. So, hi, Eminem. Love the pod. I am writing in about my boyfriend at 23 and his relationship with his female friend, 25. We'll call her Danica. No, we're going to call her Danica because I have a family member named in the other pronunciation. And so I will be on her side if I say it like that. Okay. We'll call her Danica. So my boyfriend and I have been together for almost a year, and he's been friends with this girl from a program for a couple of years now. He spends his time with her at the gym for the most part. For context, about 2 months into our relationship, he left my place in the morning to go to brunch with people from his program, but quote unquote, everyone canceled at the last minute, and they spent the entire day bar hopping together, assuming that's with Danica, which made me uncomfortable considering he never once told me about her. A bit of backstory, he told me that he had to hide behind his ex-girlfriend's back because she was uncomfortable with their relationship. And one time he and Danica spent the night together taking unprescribed Adderall and doing schoolwork, which is very alarming to me. I've noticed the past few months that they send each other picture/emoji-filled texts very often late at night when I'm with him, and I've made comments explaining how it makes me feel awkward. He always says that he wants me to feel secure and will do what is necessary to make me feel more comfortable within our relationship, but I don't want it to be on my terms. Last week, Danica asked if he would, quote unquote, hypothetically go to a music festival with her in Florida. We are in Canada. He responded saying no, but this still rubbed me the wrong way. Would it be wrong of me to ask him to take a step back from the friendship / have more strict boundaries? I love that he has a close female friendship, but I think given the events, I haven't been feeling very easy. I would love to know what you ladies think of the situation. Thank you so much. Do you actually love that he has a close female friendship? Because to me, I don't know if you have a girl problem. I think you have a boyfriend problem. So like, I don't know. I, as someone who's friends with lots of gay men and straight men, I have been made to be the quote unquote villain female friend. No fucking romantic relationships there. But I was able to tell my friend saying, hey, you can't phrase things like this. Hey, that's not cool. Don't do that. And that is like, so much of it can be put on. Yes, there are women who are, you know, that stereotype of like, oh my God, I'm just like the girl best friend. But there's also times where it's like, that's not how they view the relationship or how the relationship is at all. But guys will either have feelings for that, want them in their delusional head to think that it's a possibility to phrase it like that, or just want to feel desirable and will phrase it like that. So you haven't even said if you know her, like if you've met her and you've hung out with her.
That's my problem. Because
I think if he is keeping her separate, it's not that he needs to create boundaries with her because like that's uncomfortable. That is like he's disrespecting your relationship and you shouldn't have to tell him to do that.
Yes. One of my close guy friends, when he got his girlfriend, he said, I want y'all to be friends. And now I'm closer to her than I am to him. So like, that's how it should have been, is that he should have introduced you to her immediately. It shouldn't have been like anything secret. And then like, if y'all are if they're going places together, why aren't you being invited? Yeah. That's part of the problem. If she wanted to go to the music festival, it should have been like, do y'all want to go to the music festival? Not just him. That's weird. I think there's two different things going on. Like she needs to also know boundaries, but your boyfriend has to be the one that initially set the boundaries.
Yeah. And like he can also spin a very different story about the relationship to her in the sense that like, oh, it would make her feel really uncomfortable if you messaged. So don't do that. You know what I mean? So like there's an aspect of it that like, I think I would not feel comfortable being, first of all, I wouldn't feel comfortable with any of my close friends never meeting their partner who's like, they like that to me is weird regardless if like of our genders. That's super fucking weird to me. Like I would be like, what the fuck is, I have to meet this person. Like what's going on? So that already there, I would not feel like, I just think that's fucking weird. I would just not do that. And then on top of that, making sure that you're being respectful and also knowing that like once you've met her, then you have a relationship and she can kind of do that broken like she can break the barrier thing and it can become like, yeah, I don't think that that's what she thinks or that's whatever. So like there's less tiptoeing or dancing around the subject here. So I think that you would be wrong if you told him to create a stronger boundary with her, because I don't know I don't know that she is the problem whatsoever. You would not be wrong if you wanted to, or you insisted on meeting her and hanging out with her and then going from there to decide about what you want to do with the relationship, because that's just not, it's not it. Like, cause I don't know that you making him create this boundary would change anything from him, because he also never told you about her. Like he's not proving himself to be a very trustworthy, forthright and super honest about her specifically to even begin with. So I think creating that boundary might give you a false sense of security. And instead, she also needs to know what she's a part of. The girl who's involved in that as well. So, and you'd also think if he said, to me, this is just him covering his ass. Like that he's saying that like, oh, his last girlfriend had an issue with her. So then you would then think that you would reflect on how you created that relationship with her. And so that was bad. And so then the next time you're in a relationship, you're not going to do that same thing again. So like, to me, this gives maybe not guy who's cheating on you, but guy who wants to believe he has a shot with his best friend. And he might not, but that has nothing to do with her and has everything to do with him. And you might have something to do with her, but you have to meet her first to know that.
Yep. All right. Hey, ladies, am I wrong if I tell my partner I don't want to hear about his day at work? Time for some background information. My boyfriend and I have been together a few years and we live together. He is currently in med school and he's been shadowing surgeries lately. I don't think I worded that correctly, but hey, I'm not in med school.
You're fine.
Since he's started this rotation, he gives me graphic details on the cool surgeries he sees, sometimes over dinner. I'm incredibly squeamish, which he knows. I think he tells me these stories for that reason. When I brought that up to him, he was like, not at all. You used to not mind me telling you about my day, which is true because he was in pediatrics. We had spoken agreement not to talk about anything said that went with that rotation. So I look forward to hearing about his day. Now, not so much. Would it be wrong to ask him not to tell me about his day until his next, hopefully less graphic rotation? I mean, I feel like he can still tell you about his day. Just don't tell you about the specificities of the surgery. He could say, today I sat in on a splint, but he doesn't have to tell you how they opened up the brain. Like,
yeah.
Let's just keep it PG.
I was there for two surgeries, two like surgery rounds today. And it was really cool. I really liked the doctor I was shadowing under. It was fun. And I had chicken pot pie for lunch.
Yeah. Just don't go into details.
Yeah.
I feel like this is an easy solution.
I think he knows this though.
Yes.
So to me, I don't know that, kind of similar to the last one, like, I don't know. I think there may be the reason why you're saying, if I ask him to not tell me about his day, because you feel like you have to create a bigger bubble because you've already asked for him to not say about this and he's still doing it. So you're trying to like make this a larger catch-all. But if you think he's telling you about this because he knows you're squeamish, trust that gut instinct, because that I think is a really big red flag when someone, you can tell on their face based on when they tell you something that they know your reaction is going to be poor and you could see them. That's the satisfaction. Like that's what they wanted. And I don't think your gut's probably wrong about that. So can you throw up on command? Because do you think that would stop him if you just projectile vomit on him as he tells you? So I think that if you have to say that, create this like huge overarching net to try and it be a catch-all so he doesn't talk about it without being explicitly saying, hey, I don't want it to hear about your surgery rotations. The graphic details like really gross. The most I can handle is how many surgeries you saw that day. If you enjoyed the doctor you worked with, if you enjoyed the people you were with, that's it. That's all I want to know. And like, you're more than welcome to have those conversations with your peers and like those people. I'm not that right audience. And if he can't listen to that, then that he's choosing it.
Yep.
But yeah, also, this is why there's all those like jokes and memes about like med students and like residency students who like just become so insular and friends with each other because this is all like they want to talk about. And so it's like, yeah, talk about it with each other. I also do not think in general it is a good habit and it's a defense so many fucking people do online. It's like, my job is very traumatic. Like, we use humor to cope. We have to talk about it to cope. Totally fine. Talk about it offline with people who are your peers in your work environment, not in front of patients, but people you work with who understand the same levels. Don't get comfortable talking about like people's bodies being cut up with your significant other at home or like your next door neighbor or whatever that is. Like that to me, I don't think is cool. And I don't like when doctors do that. And that starts at this level. So yeah. And like, what if he like gets a job and like he decides he wants to do like brain surgery or he wants to do like cardiology, specifically surgery related, spinal surgery, like that stuff. Like, is he going to come home every day after work and talk about it? Disgusting. But draw the line. I'm not telling you to break up because probably gonna make a lot of money.
And also, if he goes into surgery, he might have a God complex, and then you don't want to be around that person.
Yeah. I think if you're telling someone that who you know is squeamish and doesn't enjoy hearing about the surgeries and you are getting pleasure out of it, I think we've got something that's a little more sinister than even just a God complex. And unfortunately, those tend to be incredibly successful.
I know.
People in medicine.
Tell him to work on his bedside manner, his tableside manner.
Exactly. Perfect way to put it. Tableside guacamole? No. Tableside manner. But also always yes for tableside guacamole. I love that. Do they do that in a lot of other places? Is that like a huge, I was going to say it's a big California thing?
No. I will say no. It's not because like avocados aren't everywhere.
Yeah.
But now that we're shipping things and stuff, then
that you can't, because you can't have satisfying tableside guacamole where they make, which if anyone doesn't know, they make it in front of you. They roll a little cart out. They've got all the ingredients. You have to have soft avocados to do that. You don't want to watch someone really straining their biceps because you go, that's about to be chewy.
I will say I didn't see it for the first time until I was like in high school.
Yeah. I live for that. I love dinner in the show. The hibachi.
Set something on fire? That's what I'm about to say. Set something on fire while we're cooking. I love to see it.
So the volcano? Love it. Okay. We are going to take a break. It's actually going to take a break. Throw another little loop on that B. It's going to be a B. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back.
What's up, everyone? It's Noah Daniels.
Hey, y'all. I'm JJ.
Hey, guys. It's Kat.
And we're your hosts of the Real Hauntings podcast, where we bring on guests to share their first-hand encounter ghost stories and supernatural experiences. Now on to the trailer.
I've been warned to not tell this story, but I think because of the way it ends, it's okay to tell this story, because some people say that with certain entities, to like speak of them or talk about them or in any way like portray them as powerful will attract them to other people. The creepiest thing about it to me is a lot of times it would wait for me to notice it. Like it would just lay its arm out like this, and then I'd be like, where is it? Where is it? And then I'd see it, and then it would just slither back.
For more information on the Real Hauntings, Real Ghost Stories podcast, make sure you check out real.fm to learn more about our podcast and many other amazing podcasts.
Do you love Disney? Then you are going to love our hit podcast, Disney Countdown. I'm Megan, the magical millennial.
And I'm the dapper Danielle.
On every episode of our fun and family-friendly show, we count down our top 10 lists of all things Disney. There is nothing we don't cover.
We are famous for rabbit holes, Disney-themed games, and fun facts you didn't know you needed, but you definitely need in your life. So if you're looking for a healthy dose of Disney magic, check out Disney Countdown wherever you get your podcasts.
Merry Christmas, everybody! My name is Eric Peterson. I'm here with my good buddy,
Danny Jordan.
And we are the hosts of Christmas Countdown Show.
We're so thrilled to be bringing the merriment to you all this holiday season. On Christmas Countdown, we love to count down our top 10 favorite things related to the holiday season. That could be food, movies, music, everything that we all love about this massively merry good time. So wherever you get your podcasts, make sure you click that subscribe button. Eric, are you ready?
I am ready, and we hope that you are too. Merry Christmas, everybody! Let's go!
And we are back. It is our final installment. And that installment is, but are they wrong? Melissa, what are they wrong?
But are they wrong is when we pick someone from the world, someone that is getting a little buzz right now, or it might be something from a small town that we just happen upon, where they just are the worst or among the worst of the week, and we wanted to bring it to everyone's attention. What do you got, Megan?
I have a repeat offender.
Mm-hmm.
So I would like to nominate Danielle Bernstein, who, if you might be familiar, her Instagram, We Wore What? The list of this girl is collecting controversies like Infinity Stones. And we have reached one where, similar to that meme in Community, if you can forgive racism, but you draw the line at treating animals badly, boy, do I have the story for you. I have to say, seeing people react to this going, this is the worst thing she's ever done. I go, okay. I mean, she's done a lot of very bad, very in poor taste things. But anyone who's ready to finally now hop on the train of like, this girl needs to be stopped. She is a absolute menace to small businesses. She steals from small businesses. Specifically, she finds small Black-owned businesses, gets them to send her stuff for free, and then she recreates it and then is like, I don't even know who that person is. And it's like, you literally slid into our DMs asking for free stuff. And she's like, I don't know who that is. Like, she's like ruthless, absolutely ruthless. So she, on her own accord, and this is what she always does. She always does these things where I'm like, why would you tell on yourself? She posts on her Instagram story a picture of her French bulldog. And it says, not the news we wanted. My baby Bleeker has been diagnosed with a terminal brain tumor. My heart is shattered and so devastated, but committed to providing the best care and quality of life for him for what time he has left. Exploring all of our options for radiation, medication. So shocked, trying to process right now. The next day, she posts a photo of her hugging her dog, who looks like he wants nothing to do with her, with the caption, such a heavy heart leaving Bleeker to go on my trip, but I know he's in great hands with his Auntie Gloria in her calm home upstate, where he'll be taking his medicine and getting full 24-hour care until we start radiation in a few weeks. The doctors recommended waiting to see how he does the new medication, rest and relaxation, blah, blah, blah. The doctors are so hopeful, and many of you are so hopeful, the stories of prolonged life after treatment. Thank you for all the kind messages, blah, blah, blah. I know that how common this is in older dogs. It doesn't make it any easier. It's been a really emotional few days, blah, 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 blah. Thanks for everyone for appreciate the very intense and quick education I've been getting while able to care for my little boy. This dog has terminal brain cancer, and she is going on a trip to Greece. And if I am not wrong, this has been speculation. Some people were not entirely sure the last time I looked, that they were like, this dog is also not very, like, only about 4 years old. So if they're finding this cancer in him earlier than most dogs, it's a very common cancer for this breed of dog to get, according to people who have been reading, talking about this. But getting it that young typically is not because of necessarily the breed. It might be genetically predisposed, not, again, just from the breed, but from the dog's parents, and possibly has a much shorter lifespan from this. Because they speculate only be like 4 years old, which is very fucking young. And then her next story after that she posts, took some me time this morning to visit blank for an epic colonic this morning. Always super booked up, but amazing to clear out the toxins with the poop emoji and a heart. So on your free will, you shared that your dog has been diagnosed with terminal brain cancer. And then you go, but still going on my trip to Greece. And to prepare for my trip to Greece, I'm having explosive diarrhea. Now I feel so cleansed, got all those toxins out, feeling awesome and amazing. Holy shit. First of all, I think that, if you're willing to leave your dog while your dog is about to start going through chemo and radiation, or I don't know if just, radiation at the very least, you actually probably shouldn't have the dog. And the dog should be with someone who will actually care for the dog, because they would have no doubt that they would never just go on this trip. Also, girl, you're an influencer. You can go on this trip whenever you want to. This is not work. This is whatever this fucking is. Like, and then why would you fucking share it?
That's the thing, is like, just don't share it. Just don't say anything. How hard is it just not to say one word?
It's like, and all of 99% of the controversies that she gets herself into, she opts in. She hops in feet fucking first, where it's like, you don't stumble into this. Like, you go out of your way to intentionally do this. And then it's what do you mean? Of course, it's fine. It's just so wild to me, because is there a horrible part of me? And also, I'm not a dog owner at this point in my life. So if anyone's like, how could you say that? I don't have a dog right now. If I had a dog, I'm sure I would feel very differently. But her and I are in very different financial situations, but also I am the big believer of depending on the person, don't always want to count other people's money. You don't necessarily know that this kind of trip or whatever, if I had a trip booked and it was $10,000 non-refundable, and it was oh my God, okay, well, I'm only going to be gone a week. The dog's there's no treatment happening right now. I already have the pet sitter set up, and you've already put the deposit down on all of this stuff. And it's would I feel at this point, again, me without a dog, I could see myself going should I still go? Should I not? What is that? If I actually had the dog, I probably would be a very easy no decision. I'm staying here. Mm-hmm. But boy, oh boy, would I never, I would never feel confident on making the call about going. If I went, I'd probably still feel really guilty, but I wouldn't feel confident in it nearly enough to post about it like less than 24 hours later.
Or just don't post about the dog and go on your trip.
Exactly. Or don't post about your trip after you post about your dog.
Yeah.
You can't have it both ways then, like, and then be like, "Aw." And people have already said that she's like a very shitty dog owner. I, again, don't know much about that, but like, and then to post like, "Oh, I need to get the toxins cleared out." Like, at this point, I'm like, is this a kink? Like, do you love...
I think she likes to be embarrassed.
I think she does too. All of these things could be so fucking avoided. And again, you'd think maybe she'd make a burner account to request free product before she replicates it. She doesn't. And so it's like, what? And she's posting things. I mean, like, been packing crazy, and Bleecker has his MRI, but it's like pictures of her outfits. And it's like, what?
There's no way that she doesn't know what she's doing.
Yeah. I think it's crazy, but I'll say
It's like, it's controversial. Sign me up, because people are going to talk about it.
Yeah. And I have from people are saying on the subreddit that I guess she's like very, and I don't love this narrative, but I think it fits for her and I'll deem it when it's necessary, that she's like desperate to get married to her boyfriend. And like she's been desperate to get married the last like 2 guys she dated, and they like broke things off. And she had this very high society guy who they're like, his family would hate her. Like they're like Smith, so they're very like hoity-toity, like waspy, and like not their vibe. And also,
and we're not flaunting money like this.
No, and also I don't know much about them in general, but like if they meant the traditional aspect of wasp, like Danielle is a Jewish woman, so like that there could be a whole other aspect to it there. So like I'm not like, damn, she missed out on a great one next. I don't fucking know. I think high society, rich New York people, not my vibe. But that she's like really been like desperate to marry, and like has like launches relationships and boyfriends like very quickly, and is like so over the top with it. She's the one who I sent you that video of her like dancing on him or whatever. That people are like, I think she thinks she's getting engaged on this trip, and that's why she won't cancel it. And I was like,
but again, just don't post.
But she has to post that she gets engaged on the trip.
But she doesn't need to post about the dog.
No, of course, but she needs to be able to post everything. She needs you to feel bad for her and then happy for her. It's crazy. So if the stealing from Black small businesses wasn't enough, if the posting bikini pictures talking about Ukraine, I think that was what she was talking about, wasn't enough, if her Architectural Digest home tour wasn't enough, hopefully this, you could draw the line at the abandoning your dog to go to Grace.
Well, I don't know what to say about that, because I feel like she just likes to do these type of things.
She'll get her rocks off regardless.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a wild time.
All right. Well, my pick is Governor Gavin Newsome. And he, at the end of last week, put an order in place to clear out homeless encampments for people who live in them. And if you don't know, this is like where unhoused people set up tents. And he put in an order that we no longer need these around LA, or not even LA, all of California, which I understand one part of it, of how, like, you know, let's make the streets safer, I guess. But like, where are these people supposed to go?
Let's get them housing if we're getting rid of this.
Let's put housing in place first, which like LA specific, like our mayor has been working very hard at creating housing, but it's not nearly enough for everyone. And so I've seen videos of like police officers just like tearing down these encampments, even with people like sleeping inside of them, and terrifying these people and telling them they have to leave. But like, where are they supposed to go? Get housing for these people first. Don't put this order in place until there's enough housing for everyone.
Yeah, I agree with that. It should be hey, we've set up all of this housing here. You don't have to live here in these encampments if you don't want to. And also there's a long kind of like getting comfortable process. Like a lot of people will be like, why aren't people in like homeless shelters? A lot of them are full, but also a lot of them have like stipulations that like specifically if you are a mom or a father and you have a kid of the opposite sex or gender, who if they're over a certain age can't be with you. And they're separated in that sense. Sometimes it's very hard to get placements of families, and there could be rules there that like aren't good, or there are people there you don't trust, whatever that is. So like it takes a while, even if there's spots open in homeless shelters, for people to trust the system, quote unquote, again. And so to like not only rip this out from tons of people in general, but also with nothing in place at all, let alone not accounting for the time it takes to get acclimated to that and to like trust that program and that system. We have none of that. And it makes me really irate as someone who's like lived in California my whole life. I've been exposed to California always has been kind of a destination and a location for people who are experiencing homelessness because of our weather. And year round, it's a lot better and it's a lot safer. And that is something that I, again, who have lived here my whole life, I've experienced San Francisco, like witnessed at San Francisco homelessness at East Bay, all the way to LA. That to me is something that I am so glad there is a state where people can go that doesn't snow, that doesn't have all of this weather that is so bad, where they can be in a circumstance or situation that is not preferred for them, but that they are safer there. And so now suddenly when we make one of the few states, because every other Arizona gets too hot, other places get too fucking hot for that. And so like, yeah, to view this as something that is a problem. And it also feels super ironic because I think it was last year or the year before, we lapsed on a $3 trillion low income housing thing that it was free. And you would get a kickback if you built it and no one wanted to even build it. So that grant passed and lapsed, so like no one took up on that. And it just like makes me irate. And like I feel so much more unsafe. I feel worried when I see police at homeless encampments. I don't feel unsafe when I see homeless encampments whatsoever. So that makes me just like very upset. And there's so many things that could be done that are helpful. And this feels like we're jump-starting and kick-starting what we did during the Super Bowl, which we all were what's going to happen during the Olympics, which is why a lot of like Angelinos are super against it, that you're just going to take vans and take people who are currently living at this point, I don't know if they'll be encampments, but who are currently unhoused and drive them to fucking San Diego. Like that's...
Yeah. Yep. And other states come and drop off, essentially dumping unhoused people or people that they don't know what to do with. They'll come and dump them here, and just here's like a number. And I will say, like I said, Karen Bass has been like asking people like if they want to move, but there are, according to our beautiful LA controller, there are 46,260 people experiencing homelessness right now, and there's only 16,100 beds. So, and
there's a lot of LA apartments that are fucking vacant, like downtown LA. There's so many vacant apartments that are, if anyone doesn't know, very close to Skid Row. Hop, skip, and a jump. Like so many options. And also Karen Bass wasn't mayor when grant lapsed.
Right.
And people, it is such a hot, quote unquote, like hotbed topic of talking about like homelessness in Los Angeles and like how someone's going to fix it or whatever.
The TV show Loot, which is essentially like where
Maya Rudolph.
Yes, Maya Rudolph is playing like a Melinda Gates or a billionaire's ex, and she has all this money, doesn't realize that she had a foundation set up. And so in the show, they're literally in downtown LA taking those buildings and turning it into homes for the unhoused. And I'm just like, I know it takes time, but you have the blueprint right here.
Yeah. And like, we've got 4 years to the Olympics. And I'm like, get it together. We could have, part of the reason why that grant was there was because they were like, maybe you want this for the Olympics. Like, there's just so many ways to do this. And like, there's so many components to it. There's like drug components to it as well. And that's also part of the reason why a lot of homeless shelters don't work, is like, there's no using allowed in there. And like, for people who are in like the thick of needing that, and it's not safe for them to even detox from any of that or whatever. But then also, in order to like cease using those drugs for an extended period of time and ideally forever, there needs to be mental health treatment as well, and like trauma-informed treatment and all of this. And like, it's not just so simple of like, if we take away their homes, then they'll find homes. And it's like, what the fuck are you on about? Right. Like, it's just so irritating. And I really hate how I hear other politicians talk about it. And I'm like deeply disappointed in Gavin Newsome, because I personally, we can talk shit about California for certain things, whatever, but I don't like it when other people do. And I do not like it when our representatives start enacting things in the same way that other people talk about our crime-ridden city.
Right.
And I'm like, why are you acting like this is like, stop. And he also like was so quick to like not let people blame the last like really big fire we had under the freeway on a homeless encampment, because it wasn't. It was a disgruntled renter there, or they also think it was the person who had it who's trying to get insurance, whatever. And he was so quick to shut that down. And I don't like this vibe. And don't be a hot villain. Be a hot regular politician.
It's like he'll be like good, and then does one thing, and I'm just like, stop, please.
No, and it pisses me off because like I don't want to have to defend you. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, conservatives hate you for a different fucking reason.
Right.
And I'm like, I don't want you to be like that. And like, I understand that like being a politician at the end of the day is an unethical job. It is a corrupt job. The system is corrupt. You cannot be, you in order to participate in it, you have to succumb to some of your morals or whatever. But this to me, this was not called for. This was not, no one was asking for this. This wasn't like I, again, didn't like what you did during the Super Bowl, but I knew you were going to do it. This is like unprecedented. There's no what the fuck was this for?
Yep.
What's your defense on that? What's your, this is it's not temporary. And it's like, yeah, this feels
very targeted.
Yeah, targeted and like seemingly not thought through, but I think it's very thought through, and I want to know what you're thinking.
Yep.
So
agree.
I agree with you wholeheartedly.
Well, that's it for the episode.
Yay. I wanted to tell you one fun, exciting thing. Okay. Not that fun or exciting. It's a TikTok that I just saw, and I almost sent it to you while we were eating lunch. And I said, no, I want to actually tell you it, and then I'll send it to you. And it is the Miss Teen USA pageant seemingly just happened. And I want you to know that Miss Teen Arkansas showed up in a dress that is a Walmart uniform ball gown with a sparkly state of Arkansas behind her. And I had to say, go Arkansas. I
like that.
Melissa, when I saw the rest of what everyone else was wearing, I said, she took a different approach. She kind of went looking camp right in the eye. And other people were like, I took inspiration from the colors of this or whatever. And she said, no, I'm actually dressing up as a Walmart employee.
And that's great.
And I will be employee of the month.
Walmart is one of the biggest retailers in the world. They are number one. I don't know why I said one of. They are the biggest retailer in the world, based in Northwest Arkansas, where I'm from. And pretty much everybody you know works for Walmart in some type of way, either in the corporate or any company that sells things in Walmart has a corporate office there too. So everybody's connected, and I really appreciate that she did that.
Her intro is, hi, Miss Arkansas USA, and welcome to Walmart. And then you have Alabama Teen, and she's a camellia flower, which is like their flower thing.
Flower.
Yeah. And then Miss Teen Alaska is a snowflake. Arizona Teen is a phoenix. And then Nebraska is a rodeo, which I didn't know there were rodeos there. And then Colorado is a butterfly. And I do have to give her props because she's actually wearing antennas, and no one else seems to have done that aspect. It seems like we were going for headdresses, not costumes, but she's in a full-on antenna. And she's also in a mini dress, and I'm like loving it. So I don't know how they placed, but I'm high-key obsessed with it. And the whole vest is rhinestone. And people are like, oh my God, they did that girl dirty. And everyone's like, no, I'm from Arkansas and she did us right. Like this is a big slay. And I have to say, as someone who's never lived there, I don't claim that as my home, but I've said, this is a wonderful place. It's kind of like Disneyland. I have to say, I love this, even though I was not allowed to shop at Walmart as a child. But
and the sticker, the happy face is a sticker that they give children. So like, all this is great. We've even got the little newer logo, which is the butthole down at the bottom. This is incredible.
She almost looks like she's in stilts. Like, it's so grand and so great. And, I think those kids are going to be all right. So.
Thank you for sharing, Megan.
You're welcome. I'm happy I could share it with you because I thought of you immediately. And you're the only reason why I popped on my For You page. Let's be fucking real.
Yeah.
That's fine. Okay. Anything else?
That's it.
Okay. Well, we hope you all enjoyed. And as always, you can vote for who you think was wrong in each episode, in each segment for this episode on our Instagram story. So keep checking back, keep asking questions, and you can vote and we'll read those results. And then
stay tuned tomorrow for See You Next Tuesday, where we'll be reading the votes from a previous week. Thursday, we've got Don't Blame Me. Friday, we have Fisting Friday, where we're just chatting away. And then we'll be right back here on Monday for another episode of But Am I Wrong?
Woo! And
we'll
circle back. But Am I Wrong is a production by me, Megan Rinks.
And me, Melisa DeMonts, plus Diamond Imprint Productions.
Post-production by Coco Lorenz.
And production assistance by Melanie D. Watson.
Welcome to the small town of Chinook, where faith runs deep and secrets run deeper. In this new thriller, religion and crime collide when a gruesome murder rocks the isolated Montana community. Everyone is quick to point their fingers at a drug-addicted teenager, but local deputy Ruth Vogel isn't convinced. She suspects connections to a powerful religious group. Enter federal agent V.B. Laureau, who has been investigating a local church for possible criminal activity. The pair form an unlikely partnership to catch the killer, unearthing secrets that leave Ruth torn between her duty to the law, her religious convictions, and her very own family. But something more sinister than murder is afoot, and someone is watching Ruth.
Chinook, starring Kelly Marie Tran and Sanaa Lathan. Listen to Chinook wherever you get your podcasts.
Hi, I'm Jennifer, a founder of the Go Kid Go network. At Go Kid Go, putting kids first is at the heart of every show that we produce. That's why we're so excited to introduce a brand new show to our network called The Search for the Silver Lining, a fantasy adventure series about a spirited young girl named Isla who time travels to the mythical land of Camelot. Look for The Search for the Silver Lining on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, are you ready for some real talk and some fantastic laughs? Join me, Megan Rinks.
And me, Melisa DeMonts, for Don't Blame Me, But Am I Wrong?
We're serving up 4 hilarious shows every week designed to entertain and engage and, possibly enrage you.
In Don't Blame Me, we dive deep into listeners' questions, offering advice that's funny, relatable, and real.
Whether you're dealing with relationship drama or you just need a friend's perspective, we've got you.
Then switch gears with But Am I Wrong, which is for listeners who didn't take our advice and want to know if they are the villains in the situation.
Plus, we share our hot takes on current events and present situations that we might even be wrong in our lives. Spoiler alert, we are actually quite literally never wrong.
But wait, there's more. Check out See You Next Tuesday, where we reveal the juicy results from our listener polls from But Am I Wrong?
And don't miss Fisting Friday, where we catch up, chat about pop culture, TV, and movies. It's the perfect way to kick off your weekend.
So if you're looking for a podcast that feels like a chat with your besties, listen to Don't Blame Me, But Am I Wrong on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. New episodes every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday.